Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today we are going to be preserving cherries. I bought a bunch of cherries a couple of weeks ago with the intention of canning them, and I just never got around to it. So now they're kind of a little bit lower quality, and I just simply don't need them in the canned form. We still have plenty from last year. It would be really nice to have some home frozen cherries in the freezer that I can use to throw into like oatmeals or desserts or anything like that. So I figured I would just go ahead and start freezing these, and so I can have them on hand. This shouldn't be a terribly long video. It's a pretty simple process, but I just figured I would bring you along and show you what I'm doing in case you guys are curious as to how to properly kind of freeze up cherries. So the first thing we're gonna do is we need to rinse these off, and I need to kind of pick through them because there are a couple spots that got a little bit moldy, but overall they're mostly just fine. So I'm going to pick through these, and we're going to rinse them off with the colander and just kind of get them rinsed off. And like I said, they're really not in the best quality. They're wrinkly, but they'll be hopefully just fine, and we'll find out together. So let's do it. Okay, so we got these all rinsed off, and next what we're going to do is we're just going to pit them and do the pits and the stems and stuff. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but if you guys watched my canning cherry video, which I will link up there, I didn't have a pitter. So this year I was determined if I was going to do anything with cherries, I was going to finally get a pitter. This thing was $14.99. I just opened it out of the package. We will see if it's worth it. So I don't know how detailed this is. Ooh. Yeah. So we're just gonna pit all these and put them on this cookie sheet to throw into the freezer, and we're gonna put them on the cookie sheet because they will be able to freeze separate, and they won't become just like some congealed blob of cherries in the freezer. So you freeze them ahead of time. This is the case with almost everything that you freeze, especially like fruits and stuff that you're not pre-cooking. You lay them out on a cookie sheet so that they can freeze, separate from everything else. And even if they do kind of get a little bit stuck together, they're pretty darn easy to separate. So that's why we're doing it this way. And so I'm just gonna bust through all of these. We had started out with 6 pounds. I probably took out maybe a pound. So we're doing like 5 pounds here. And then, so I will just show you what I'm doing here. Alright, so we got all of the cherries pitted. I don't really know how long that took. I think maybe like a half an hour. So now what we're going to do is, and it took up 2 sheet trays, giving them plenty of space. And so we're just going to pop these into the freezer. And I'm going to put it, you need it in there for like, I think probably like at least 4 hours. But I'm most likely going to just do it overnight and take care of the rest of this in the morning. But either way, I'll bring you back and show you the next step whenever that happens to be. Oh, and you're super duper like all over the place. About halfway through, I ended up putting this up. I didn't want to block the view, but it was just getting everywhere. It was getting all over my phone that I've got back there, and like it was just getting everywhere. So I helped at least somewhat keep down the mess. But just be warned, wear an apron, wear gloves if you want to, and it's just gonna be a huge mess, but it'll be worth it. We're back. It has been probably a week since I put these things in the freezer. Kind of one of those out of sight, out of mind sort of things. So we are just really quick. So now they're all like frozen separately. Some of them kind of clumped together, but for the most part, they're all just totally separate. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take them, and I'm gonna put them in these quart jars. You can use the gallon-sized bags, but this I'm using. You need to do it kind of as quick as you can so you can get it back into the freezer. So now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna label these. I'm just gonna write, frozen, Bing cherries on here and the date, and then I'm gonna put them back in the freezer. And that way, freezing them separately like this, it won't be like some congealed blob inside of there. And that's also why you wanna kind of move quick while you're doing this so it doesn't become a congealed blob. So I'll be right back. So before I actually froze these things, I went ahead and pulled one of them out so that we could do a little taste test and kind of a texture type of thing. So, it's still kind of frozen. I guess it's more just cold, it's not necessarily frozen, but man, that tastes really good. I almost feel like the freezing and thawing process kind of made it sweeter. It definitely gave it a better texture because I don't know if it really picked up on camera just how kind of like dried up and kind of like wrinkly it was. It was definitely they were definitely past their prime for sure. And that one tasted really good. This is definitely a really great way that you can preserve the harvest. You can preserve a little bit of summer when the cherry season is in. Right now, we probably only have like maybe a week left of the cherry season around these parts, and I think actually this is the last weekend they're going to have it at my local farm stand that we have kind of in town. So I think I'm probably going to pick up a little bit more, nothing crazy, but I would just really like to be able to have this on hand throughout the winter, and because I genuinely really enjoy cherries, especially reindeer cherries. Those ones are my favorite, but these are just the ones that I have. So I hope you guys give this a try, and definitely stick this one in your arsenal for things that you can use next time when you have some fruit that is just about to go bad. Just pop it in the freezer, freeze them separate like that, and you can use them, until you use them basically. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you learned something. Let me know down below what you guys are freezing or dehydrating, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.